Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Bella Emme back with a new video, and today I'm so excited to be beginning the new series on my channel that I announced last week, and it's called Did You Know? Now this series is all about introducing and explaining to you the stories of Black people who invented things, created things, designed things, they access different parts of their creativity to bring us inventions today that would change the world. And these stories are really just positive stories that show you that Black people, despite having systematic walls in our way, have still conquered, have still overcome a lot. So I'm really excited to introduce to you guys a lady called Zelda Valdes. Her life was just spectacular, and I'm so excited to introduce you guys to her today. And if you're excited too, then keep on watching. Okay guys, so I'm back. I have set my eyes, done my eyebrows and everything so that we can get to the nitty-gritty of this makeup look and just get right into Zelda's story. So if you see me looking down today, I'm looking at my notes really briefly because I did take notes on her story. Let's just get right into it. Okay, so she was born on June 28, 1905 or June 1st, 1905. Her year of birth is definite, but the date exactly is not. And I was really perplexed by that. Unfortunately, the date of her birth is unclear. And that's unfortunate because she actually did a lot to contribute to the fashion industry and to the Black community with her gifts and her talents. So not knowing her exact date of birth, unfortunately, is really sad, but we do get a little bit more information into her life as a whole. She was born in Chambersburg, Pennsylvania, and she lived there for quite a bit with her family. And in her adolescent years, she actually ended up moving to Charlotte, North Carolina, and she grew up there for a while. In her teen years, she actually ended up moving again to White Plains, NYC, where she grew up for that time. So her teen years, she actually ended up getting a job at her uncle's tailoring shop, and she would basically learn how to tailor from there. Now I have to tell you that she had a gift for just looking at people and knowing how to dress them, and that's a gift that you guys are going to see me mention a lot in this video because her gifts really did shine. Her grandmother and her, I guess, had a special bond, and so she decided to make her grandmother a dress. And initially, when she had made it, her grandmother wasn't sure if it would fit because she was a very tall, curvy lady, but then putting on the dress, it was a perfect fit. So already from the get-go, you could see that Zelda already had quite a niche for just knowing how to dress people. She just knew what she was doing. And throughout this story, I'm going to be putting little pictures of her and her creations and the people she worked with on the screen so you guys can see what I mean. So late teens now into her early 20s, she actually ended up getting a job at this high-end boutique, upscale kind of boutique, where she started out as a stock girl and worked up the corporate ladder to start selling and making alterations. And guys, just remember that during the early 1900s, so 1910s, 1920s, 30s and stuff, as a Black person in general, to be working at an upscale boutique is a very big deal already. And then think about her working up the corporate ladder in that same shop and then being able to sell and make alterations. In the 1920s, for a Black woman in the fashion world, it's an even bigger deal. You have to see the significance of how much she was paving the way for other Black designers by just being herself, by just working what she did, using her talents, and people seeing that, people that looked like her seeing that and saying, hey, if she can do it, I can do it too. We're going to get to that part in her life a bit later in her story. She actually ended up becoming that shop's first Black tailor / clerk. And this is not the first Black woman. She became the first Black tailor / clerk to be in that store. So again, she is making some moves in her own in her own field. Okay, so 1930s. Now I must warn you, this is the age of the Great Depression. 1930s is where it really hit. I just want you to keep that in mind. The research I did though didn't really mention that, and it was kind of like her business was still up and running. Obviously every business took a shot in terms of revenue, in terms of business, because obviously when there's a depression going on, where there's a surge in the amount of people who are unemployed, it's going to be hard for business. But her business was pretty stable. So in 1935 she actually ended up owning her own dressmaking business in White Plains, New York. That store she called Zelda Wynn, and that was her first store that she owned in White Plains, and it was picking up steam very fast. Her store would cater to the upper class citizen, so more the 1%, so the richer people, the celebrities, people like that, because her dresses were couture / handmade, and she tailored each of her dresses with care. She made sure that they were perfectly, perfect to the teeniest, tiniest detail. She was always perfecting her craft, and I think that's one of the things I admire about her most, is that she didn't stop for anybody. She kept going, she kept creating, and she was doing it day by day. So this store that she made was also for dress design and dressmaking, so she would do a lot of the alterations, custom made dresses, and sell a lot of dresses in this studio. Okay, so now let's get into the celebrities she dressed. So like I said earlier, her business was picking up steam quite fast. Celebrities noticed her, guys, and a lot of these celebrities you have heard of. A lot of these celebrities from the 1930s, you know, the classic people you think of when you think of vintage Hollywood celebrity. She dressed a lot of those people, and I'm going to list them off for you, give little pictures on the side to show you who they were. So one of the first celebrities mentioned that she dressed, I'm not saying that they're the first ones, I'm just saying that these were the first ones mentioned, were actually Marie Ellington and Nat King Cole. Now she dressed the entire bridal party for Nat King Cole and Maria Ellington. She dressed the bridesmaids, the groomsmen, the bride and groom, and for the bride she actually made this very, very gorgeous ballroom gown, which she called Blue Ice, and it was a real showstopper in their wedding. You guys, I'm gonna put it on the screen somewhere. It was absolutely beautiful, this dress. So some other celebrities that she actually ended up dressing were Mae West, Josephine Baker, Ella Fitzgerald, and so many more. She even dressed a woman by the name of Joyce Bryant, of whom was actually an entertainer at the time, and people knew her, but people didn't know her. She wasn't known the way she wanted to be known, as big as she wanted to be, and Zelda was actually the one who helped boost her career because she gave a bit more sensuality to Joyce's style. And from then on, she was really called the Black Marilyn Monroe because she had a very similar figure to Marilyn, a very similar blonde in her hair, and it was really, really cool to see her in a different kind of style. It gave a bit more oomph to the way she dressed, and Zelda is really the one to thank for that. From then on, Joyce was getting a lot more attention from the magazines and the newspapers. Everyone wanted to know who was dressing Joyce Bryant. Who is this designer that's coming up with such gorgeous, creative designs? Who is she? Because we want her. A lot of people in Hollywood actually hired her to do a lot of the dressing and designing. And like I said before, Zelda just had a talent. She just had a gift to look at somebody and know how to dress them. I will put all of the information that I learned down in the description box below, all the sites I use, so that you guys can look her up and do some more research of your own, but this is just what I learned. She also sold a lot of dresses to celebrities. A lot of them wanted custom-made dresses because the custom-made ones were gorgeous. Not that the ones that we bought in store weren't, but the custom-made ones people really, really loved. Like I said before, you guys, she was really focused on perfecting her craft and just making it the best it could be every single day. That really impacted her career in the most positive way possible. So a lot of that she did through the 30s and the 40s. Now we're going into the 50s with her life. Alright guys, so in the 50s she actually ended up moving her store Zelda Wynn to Midtown Manhattan, where she renamed it Chez Zelda to give it more of, you know, an oomph into the title. I don't blame her. I mean, like, I changed this channel, what, like 6 times? She changed the name of her store, and it really, you know, it just drew people to her. Whether she had changed the name or not, people would still be coming to her just because they know how dope her designs were. Like, it was crazy. She was getting more clients all the time. During this time, she had about 9 dressmaker staff. So with her 10 people managing the store, which for a couture shop, that's crazy. You don't have a lot of people, you know, managing the store, but somehow people were still coming and people weren't noticing a lack in quality or a lack in the creativity of her design. She just kept it very pristine the entire time. And these 9 staff members really helped out with the new business she was getting as it was growing every single day. She was also selling dresses at this point for about $1,000 per couture gown. Again, when I said handmade, you guys, she would train her dressmaker staff the same way that she would work, which is pristine. Like, you're making sure you're perfecting your designs every single day, making sure that if there's any mistakes, you're correcting them within a timely fashion, taking your time with each creation at a time. And I did a lot of research on how much is $1,000 now. $1,000 in the 50s now is about $10,000. You can do a bit more math, but that's a lot of money, you guys, for a dress. In the 50s, that's how much people would be paying. And Zelda knew the worth of her creations, and she charged people her worth because her designs and her creations, her creativity in them were just phenomenal. And people really just loved that about her, loved that she took her time and really did her best to make sure that every customer was satisfied with what they got. So $10,000 for a dress was absolutely worth it if they were getting a couture handmade Zelda Win dress. Like, it was crazy, y'all. And by the way, did you know that her store was the first Black owned store in Midtown Manhattan? Like, her first store, let me just rephrase this. Her store was the first Black owned store on Broadway. Not the first Black woman. No. The first Black owned store on Broadway, you guys. Like, and she was picking up business not just where she was, but all over the place, especially in Hollywood. So y'all, she wasn't lacking nothing. But did she face, you know, discrimination during this time? Of course. She was a Black woman in the 50s. Of course she experienced discrimination, but some people actually who just wanted her designs looked past that and said, hey, she's an amazing designer. She is a woman of integrity. What she says she's gonna do, she's gonna do it. And so she was drumming up business regardless. She was an amazing businesswoman, and she just had the whole discipline thing down. We're gonna move into the later part of her life, which is really the late 50s into the early 2000s, like that huge gap of time I'm gonna do while I do my face and really do the rest of my eyes. But for now, I'm just gonna keep blending and we'll be right back. So I'm just going to fix this eye right here and do the exact same thing on this eye, and I will be right back in a moment, okay? Don't go away, I'm not done. Don't go, because you need to see the whole look to see how this comes together, sis. Okay guys, so I'm back and I'm ready to start filling in my eyes. I've set them, I've obviously put concealer on them, and I'm finally ready to start the filling in process. Now I'm going to use a light pink similar to the color of this beautiful head wrap today. So I'm actually just going to fill my eyes in. I'm not going to talk because I don't want to tell all about her life while I'm doing my eyes, and then while I'm doing my face it's just like tweet, tweet, tweet. I have nothing to talk about. So I just want to do my eyes really quickly, and yeah, so you guys are going to see that either really fast or something like that. Okay. Okay guys, now that I am finally finished with my eyes, I am going to be moving on to the face. So let's get moving. I don't know, I just stuck out my tongue. Sorry. So let's go into the 50s with Zelda's life. So the late 50s for Zelda were the years where the Playboy bunny really comes into play for her, because like I said earlier, Zelda was getting all kinds of celebrity attention, like, and just upperclassmen attention for a very, very long time. And it wasn't a surprise that Hugh Hefner actually saw her designs and wanted them incorporated in what he was doing as well. And just a really quick disclaimer, I don't subscribe at all to Hugh Hefner's ideas for the Playboy bunny. Obviously not. It degrades women much and basically makes them so low. It kind of boils a woman down to just an object, which we're not. And so just a disclaimer, I just wanted to say that really quickly, get that out there. I don't agree with the notions or the ideas behind the Playboy bunny. I'm just telling this part of the story and incorporating the logo in this look because it connects to Zelda and her story, okay? Just so that I can get that out there. Hugh Hefner noticed Zelda's designs and he actually personally commissioned her. Okay, let me just say that again. Hugh Hefner personally commissioned Zelda to make the costumes slash outfits for the Playboy bunny waitresses and female working staff that would be working in the restaurants and etc. So once they were finished, they were actually debuted in Chicago on February 29, 1960 as Zelda and the Playboy bunny, which is basically what I decided to call this video today because that was what she was known for. And like I said before, you guys, this lady should be known for a lot more than just the Playboy bunny, but I guess it's the heavy influence that has that really brought her name up to the platform. Unfortunately, like, she's barely given credit for that as it is. That's why I wanted to tell her story today, you guys, because I feel like she's accomplished so much more with her life other than just having the partnership with that brand and that franchise, that she really did need more recognition for her name and her brand. As well as being commissioned by Hugh Hefner to do this project, her uniform was the first commercial uniform, the uniform for the Playboy bunnies. Her uniform was actually the first uniform that was used for commercial purposes that was patented in the U.S. Patent Trademark Office. Y'all, do you understand? My voice is getting higher as I get more excited. Do you understand what a big deal this is? Like, her uniform was the first ever, not the first black woman, not the first black person, the first ever uniform to be patented and trademarked for commercial purposes. I'm not saying like the first uniform ever. The first commercial uniform to be patented by the U.S. Patent Trademark Offices. Y'all need to give God some glory right now. A little praise break. Like, that is crazy that she was able to achieve that. I have to consider so much when I look at these stories. I have to consider not just the person, but I also have to consider the timeline. I also have to consider, hey, she wasn't born in the 21st century. She was born in the 20th century. And when she was born in the early 1900s, 1905 she was born, it was hard to see it was hard to see a lot of black representation, if any, in the fashion industry. There was some here and there, but it wasn't very pronounced because they weren't trying to pronounce black anything at that point in time. Although she wasn't an inventor, she was a pioneer of her time. She was an inspiration to a lot of black women who were trying to get their names out there in the fashion industry. And overall, she was just such an inspiration. So now I'm going to set my face, obviously, with some banana powder. This looks like a lot, but whew, okay, that's a lot. Whether it's on camera or in real life, that's just a lot, period. While I have this whole entire bag of flour on my face. Why don't I just set my smile lines really quickly? There is powder everywhere. Let's talk about Zelda's life in the 60s. Since I'm almost on the face, let's talk about her life in the 60s. Now, because again, she was born in 1905, her age really did just go with the eras, which made it easier for me to do the math, honestly. So this part in her life was really, this was a later part in her life, her 60s. Obviously, she's getting a little older and whatnot. But if you thought sis was about to take a walker and a chair and sit down and start knitting, then boo, you got it wrong. So in the 60s, she actually ended up teaching a lot of costume/fashion design. She held a lot of fashion design classes and workshops. The best part is she did it to really promote Black designers and Black women who were trying to make a name for themselves in the fashion industry, which is not something you would hear of a lot in the 1960s. She was not trying to slow down for nobody and nothing, boo. She was going. What you know about this? What you know about this? Honestly, she was Wonder Woman of her time. I'm gonna do lips now and talk about Zelda's later life. Before we talk about her later life, I also want to talk really quickly about these classes by Zelda. So she actually was in charge of all the fabric donations and everything that you needed for the class. And it was also sponsored by the National Council of Negro Women. Y'all, this was some Black girl magic before Black girl magic was a thing, okay? She was trying to lead Black girl magic before Black girl magic was a hashtag. Do you feel that? Because I felt it, okay? I need to calm down. I need to finish this video. I need to calm down. I need to calm down. Woo, cut it, girl. Cut it. Cut it. Cut it. Okay, so guys, I have to read this part because it's kind of long. She was also one of the founders of the National Association of Fashion and Accessories Designers. You guys, do you understand the amount of queenage, the amount of sauce in her life? Like, I'm trying to hype myself down because it's just, I'm too much for me. But like, seriously, she was leading legacies before she knew. In the 70s, later in her life, she had stopped the Playboy bunny thing way back in the 60s, but now we're in her 70s. She actually just was continuing her own store stuff. She was still getting clients, all of that. And another man had noticed her designs, and his name was Arthur Mitchell. Arthur Mitchell was the principal dancer of the Dance Theater of Harlem, and he saw her designs and basically wanted her to partner with what he was doing in Harlem and make costumes and costume design for the theater. Let me do my lips because I'm talking too much and I need to do these lips, and I'll tell you in a second. Okay guys, so I'm done lining my lips and I'm going to move on to lipstick. So like I was saying earlier, she was an incredibly creative woman, and even when she was creating designs for the ballet shows, because a lot of these shows were ballet shows, she wasn't just making regular smegula dresses and costumes for these ballet dances. If you think about ballet, very uniform dance, but when she made the costumes, sis, she put some spice in there, some sweetness, some salty. She was doing dark pink, light pink, red, blue, yellow, green, orange, purple, like any color you can think of, she was putting it in her design. Okay, my camera's dying, so I'm gonna take some lip gloss really quick and do this before my camera dies, and then I'm gonna plug it in, charge it for a little bit, and come right back. Okay guys, so the look is finally done. So I did my bunnies on my cheeks to represent the Playboy bunny stage of her life, where she worked with Hugh Hefner and was able to produce the famous, very iconic Playboy bunnies costume. And it really was really cool for me to be able to do this look, but also really cool for me to share her story with you guys today. And like I said, I hope I finished saying this in the last take, but let me just get my notes here really quick. I'm sorry, that's makeup on them. Anywho. So basically, she actually ended up closing her business in 1989, and then on she worked with the Dance Theater of Harlem until her death in 2001 at the age of 96 years old on September 26, 2001. So you guys, her life, as we said in this entire video, her life was astonishing. It was amazing. It was empowering more than anything. I hope you guys really loved this video. I hope you loved learning about her, and I hope you learned a lot today. And if you want to learn more, every single resource that I used will be linked down below. If you like this video, obviously like it, because why wouldn't you, boo? And subscribe if you like Black history, if you like Black girl magic. Well, girl, it's here, boo. Boy, it is here on this channel. Comment down below what was the most amazing part of this video that you learned about her. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.